Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we are live. There we go. We are live at Hungary with Division 1. Today we have 14 drivers, but we've got quite a low attendance tonight. Seems a lot of people out and about enjoying life. However, we've got another 14 deciding to race, and let's see how they can do out on track, as we have Leighton, SBS_NEFC Leighton, and he's going to be one of the first to start their first banker laps. As you can see, the Williams approaching the first corner, the nice right-hander, a very fluid, smooth, if you get it correctly. Want to take some of the curb, and then a very tricky exit with the DRS activated as soon as you get out of the corner into the second corner. The nice sweeping left hand. Don't want to take too much curb, or you can spin. It needs to be early on the throttle through there, and then into the next corner. Nearly flat out. No, you need to brake very hard, and then it is completely flat out. You need to be on the absolute edge of the track limits, and the same here as in the second corner. You really need to be careful with the curb, and then through here you want to take as much curb as possible, but not touching the second layer. I think you may be able to understand where I'm coming from. As you see Leighton into now the zigzag section, into this third sector, and he's on the absolute limit of the car right now on the soft counter tyre. We can see the first lap in is by ESW Junior, and it is a 1:16.428 by the Welsh Racing Esports driver, and then a 1:16.1 set by Ramontic. Let's see, can Leighton go fastest? Provisional pole as he rounds the final corner, the sweeping right-hander, and onto the throttle goes the Williams, and it is going to be a 1:15.1. That is 1 second faster than Ramontic, and that is certainly a time to beat, as the Williams has set the benchmark for all the rest of the drivers to try to break. As we can see in the background, the Williams teammate of XD Paco across the line, and let's see who else is on a lap. We're going to enable the detail of the lap data and the track map, of course, so you can see if drivers are invalidating or what's not. Who's going to be next to cross the line? You can see Crispell on the lap, on the medium compound tyre is Crispell, currently P3 in the championship after last race in France, where he did not have a brilliant performance, but still scraping a few points for the Alfa Romeo team, as he's going to now round the final sweeping right-hander. What is it going to be? The Alfa Romeo driver. It is going to be on the absolute limit on the exit. It's going to be a 1:16.4, and that's going to put him into P6 for now. Currently, the top markers are Leighton Antonino 2001, Poof invalidates, and the two McLarens both in the garage. And XD Paco has actually crashed out in this qualifying session. That's not what he wants to see. Poof invalidated, and Marco, I think, is going to start a flyer as we speak. The Mercedes driver, the reserve, is going to start a lap into the first right-hander. Goes the Mercedes, and he takes it quite nicely through there. As you can see, he's going to appear now, flying out of this first corner into the second corner. The left-hander, you don't want to touch too much of the curb, and he does it quite nicely here, taking as much curves as possible, but he just about invalidates, and that is his lap over. Can Isan take provisional pole in the Haas on the medium compound tyre? What's it going to be for him? It's going to be 1:15.4, and that's going to put him into provisional P3 for the meanwhile. And everyone else seems to be in the boxes. More games not improving. Crispell not improving. Is anyone out front improving though? Sanhinho is not improving either. And it seems like all drivers haven't improved on their current lap times. Can Isan improve though, as he's cruising through sector 1 now into the second corner, now into the third, the flat out corner, and then into the sweeping left-hander, a large braking zone, and then it's completely flat, but he is apparently on his in-lap, as he is 3 seconds down on his current lap time. And only 8 drivers so far have set a lap. Marco into the boxes, Poof in the pit, Vipers in the pit, and Scotty is finally on an outlap. Is the McLaren burning some fuel there as he prepares for his banker lap. Leighton also on an outlap, Sanhinho making way for I think that's a car on a lap. I can't see any current cars improving for the meanwhile. Scotty's still burning fuel on this outlap, and I think that is enough fuel burn. No, still going is the Latin Formula Racing driver. Leighton proceeds on his outlap, as Anhino is in second. And literally nearly every driver into the boxes, as it seems everyone has completed their banker, except for Optic, Marco, Pooh, Viper, Scotty, and of course Paco, who has DNF from the session. As you can see, Scotty now is going to start his flying lap, warming the medium compounded tyre. He's got Zanhinho for company right behind though, and he needs to be careful. Zanhinho though will box, and that gives Scotty the green flags. It's going to be go 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 for the McLaren on the medium compounded tyre. Scotty sets underway for his banker lap, and what can he do into turn one? He passes Ramontic, who's exiting the pits now. He does not take too much of the curb into the first corner, activating the DRS in the second corner. Don't want to take too much curb through here, and he takes it very nicely through there into fifth gear, and then sixth into the sweeping right-hander, flat out through there, and then here you just need to nail it. Oh, he misses the curb by a great margin, and that's certainly going to cost him a tenth or so up into the right-hander, and now into this section of corners. You want to take, oh, he takes a lot of the curb. He takes more than you want, and that is not good for the Latin Formula Racing driver. As of right now, he is going to be, I think, in around P8, P7, as he goes very wide, and he does invalidate. He does not manage to glitch the game, and I think is pretty disappointed with that. As who is on a lap now? Embrick Boss seems to be embarking on a lap, and we can see a lot of the drivers opting for the medium compounded tyre to start around Hungary, and Embrick Boss is one of them. The Aston Martin spins. That's Embrick around, and that's Embrick out of the session, and the P5 is not going to improve on a 1:16.179. That is very unfortunate for him. Isan also out of the session. Sanhinho exiting the boxes now, and Leighton starting his flying lap. What can he do? The Williams driver embarks on his lap as he takes the first corner relatively nicely through there into the second corner. Now the sweeping left-hander. Can he improve the current pole sitter, SBS_UFC Leighton, as he takes that curve very nicely? So far he is looking very comfortable as he is 800s up, and he does invalidate though, going a tad too wide. ESW on his lap, and now it seems everyone is going for their second flying laps. Leighton invalidating his. Can ESW improve on his? It's a 3/10 improvement for him, and he invalidates in the exact same place as Leighton. Will Crispell make the same mistake? No, he takes that corner better than Leighton and better than ESW, and he manages to keep it on track this time around. And now into these section of corners, and he takes it very nicely into the zigzag section, into sector 3 he enters as of right now, still currently in sector 2 though, as Romanetic sets a 14.293. Oh my word, that's nearly a second faster than Leighton. But Crispell has set a purple sector 2, and what can the Alfa Romeo driver do? As into the final left-hander, and now into the final corner. What can Crispell manage to do? He's going to round the final corner up to the line. What's it going to be for the Alfa Romeo? It's going to be a 1:15.0, and that's enough for provisional P2, and he improves on Leighton's lap time. Who's going next? It's going to be SW. He's improving as no, sorry, he did improve last time. Scotty has left this session, and I don't think he's going to be driving, as now the Alpine, what can he do into this left-hander? He's 3/10 up. I don't think he's on a lap as of right now. What can Zanhinho do? Nothing. Crispell not going to improve either. Now we look to Marco, who's invalidated, and to Viper now in the McLaren, as he takes the first corner, misses the curb by quite a margin, does the McLaren, and Viper's out of the corner. What is it going to be? Sector 1, a 27.0 for sector 1, and the game says that it's a purple in the first sector. I'm not sure if it's lying, but if it is, then he is on a very good lap. Rounding these corners, and you can see he takes them basically perfectly, does the Vipers esports driver. And now into the zigzag section of sector 2, and on the absolute limit through there, nearly losing the car, but he manages to keep it controlled. Oh no, but this time the rear's just giving up on Vipers, and that is not what he wants to see, as Marco embarks on a flyer now, the Mercedes into turn 1. He misses the car by quite a bit as he activates the DRS, and that is him off into the distance. And the long run up to the second corner, and he takes it quite decently now into the right hander, which he also takes pretty well through there. Robin West taking control of his car. The ERT driver is back in action as he joins a bit late in qualifying, but he will have time to set a lap. Marco, that is purple in the first sector as he takes the second set of corners. What is it going to be for him? Can anyone get close to Ramonitic's time? That is the question, as he's now into the right hander. He takes it pretty well, very much on the limit. Through there is the Mercedes reserve driver, and into the penultimate corner, the left-hander, very slow, one of the slowest corners on the track, and he takes it nicely in 5th gear, 4-3, and 4th gear for the final corner, shifting up to 5th, into 6th. What's it going to be for DRA Marco? It's going to be a 1:14.9, and that pushes Chris Ball down to the final podium sitter as of right now. Optic on a lap, and Robin West still currently in the boxes with 4 minutes to go in the qualifying session. The two Mercedes seem to be 1 and 2 as we speak. Marco invalidating. Doesn't seem like anyone's on a lap right now. Optic, he's on the mediums, and it is a medium hard around Hungary. That is why we see a lot of drivers on the mediums, which I'm not sure why. Some are opting for the soft, so they're going to be doing a 2-stopper minimum here around the Hungaro ring. We can see the tyre of Embrick leaving its mark on the track. Optic goes purple in the second sector. That seems to be a very good first sector split for him. And now into the second. What can he do? He takes it very nicely, and he gets on the throttle into the zigzag section of sector 2. Needs to take it very much on the limit, and he does so quite nicely. Still leaving space for improvement though, as he needs to get in a banker lap. There, he takes it completely on the limit, does the Red Bull driver. That's a 54.218 after the first and second sector. Now into the penultimate corner. What can it be for Optic, as he's going to round the final penultimate corner, now into the final corner. The right-hander shifting up to 5th. Where is this going to put Optic? It's going to put him into P7 right now, and that is a few tenths behind Isan ESW on a lap. And we can see Ramonitic embarking also on outlap, and we're going to look at the tyres, because that seems to be crucial around here. We can see the top 5 all opting for the soft, and currently the first of the medium runners is Isan, and ESW also on the soft. He's going to be doing a 2-stop if he manages to improve. No, he will be doing a 2-stop if he does complete this lap, and he does so. So it will be a 2-stop for the ESW driver as he's going to cross the start-finish line. What's it going to be for ESW? It's a 1:14.726, and that is P2 for him. Robin West still in the boxes, and I'm not sure if he's going to come out or not. The ERT driver opting to stay in the boxes. Viper also in the boxes, and he's not going to have time to embark on a lap. Poof 2003, I think he's on a lap. Yes, he is. Number 32, he's on the mediums as well. What can he do as the 2003 Mr. Poof? Number 32, I think he's on a lap. Yeah, he takes that corner very wide, but he gets away with it. No, he's not on a lap. Zanhinho not improving, no front wing for him. Can Leighton improve though? Into sector 2, and he takes a lot of the curb, but he manages to do so. And right behind him is Ramonitic, chasing him down. Ramonitic, 1/10 improvement for him. Can he get into the 113s? That is my question. The VFR driver, as he's now rounding the final few corners. What can he do? He's been on another level on this qualifying session, as 38 seconds left. Robin West is on his outlap. I'm not sure if he's going to make it in time though. It's a 1:14.1 for him. Can anyone improve? Leighton on a lap. He's got 2/10 improvement. It's only going to be enough for P3. It's a 1:14.828. Marco starting an outlap. Robin West, not enough time to start a lap. Chris Ball improving though. It's a 1:15.0 currently for him, but he's going to round the final corner, the Alfa Romeo driver. What's it going to be for Chris Ball? It's going to be a 1:14.7. That's enough for P3, as Leighton still on a lap. Let's go on board with the SBS driver. He's not going to improve. Marco, is he going to improve on his previous time? So far, yes, no. He's invalidated, no improvement there. Vipers is on a lap. Can he improve? Well, he needs to improve, otherwise he will be out of the top few. He improves by 4/10 into the first sector. Could this be a surprise pole position from the Vipers esports driver on the absolute limit? This could be provisional pole for Vipers. No, 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 it's gone horribly wrong for D Black, and he spins and he can't keep it under control, and that is gone horribly wrong for Vipers D Black, as I think that is the end of the qualifying session, and it will be pole position for Ramonitic by 6/10 of a second. And here are the standings. Ramonitic P1, ESW P2, Crispal P3, Leighton P4, Marco P5, Sanhinho in P6, Isan P7, P8 for Optic, P9 Embrick, P10 for Pooth, then it is 11 for More, 12 for Vipers, 13 Scotty, 14 Paco, 15 Robin West. As we're waiting for the green light to get underway for the race.
Focusing on the
Oops. like in an hour. As we await Zanhinho to ready up, and then we will be going underway here at Hungary. There we go. It is 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lights out, and away we go. You can see a lot of drivers getting wheel spin. One driver who does not start is Zanhinho. Luckily, Zanhinho has ghosted, so that's not a problem for any drivers down into turn 1 on board with Leighton, and that is a spinner. That is Marco spinning around in the Mercedes, and it seems like he still has his wings, so he drifts around and manages to keep it on track as Ramonicic is down now into P3, trailing Crispal, and then further back Robin West overtaking Scotty, and then Paco in P13, followed by Marco and Zanhinho. As we can see, ESW running away from Crispal and Ramonicic as of right now, and then further back is Leighton making up one position to Embrick Boss, who's down in P5. Then it is Isan on the medium, so we need to be aware on the tyres. We can see the top 4 all on the soft. Then we have only Vipers starting on the hards. Scotty getting overtaken in the AI. The predicted pit stop strategy for the softs will be a soft to hard, but you need to box. I'm not sure that's pretty accurate. I think it is going to be a 2-stop if you're starting on the hards. You really need some safety car luck if you are starting on the softs. ESW drifting round, and further back Optic, I think he has spun and he has hit the barriers, and that is not what Optic wants to see at all. As further in front, ESW leading the pack, Crispal right behind, and then following is Ramonicic and Leighton, as Isan and Embrick doing very well to stay with the soft runners, and then Poof is trailing a bit. He's not within the DRS, and he's got Vipers to worry about, along with Robin West in P9, and then further back Paco and LFR_Scotty. And so far ESW is really pulling away from Crispal here. Crispal, however, knows that there's going to be the DRS activated next lap, so he needs to up his game, needs to gain 1/10, and he'll be back in the DRS. And we can see through there, gaining time on ESW. It's very much on the limit. How it's just a matter of how much time Crispal can pull back from ESW. However, ESW is very quick. Josh is going very quick. If you didn't know, he's actually called Joshua or Josh or something like that. Joshua designed. So Joshua is pulling away now. However, Crispal has managed to slide back into the DRS, and that's going to benefit him as he's going to be able to activate it this lap into lap 3. The DRS is enabled, and the gap is only 4/10 between them two, as Crispal seems to have a very strong last sector. Ramonicic goes fastest. Leighton is currently the fastest man on the track in P4 with the Williams. Can he get a podium? It's going to be very hard, but if he does push enough, then it could be possible, and I think it is going to be DRS activated, or no, not yet. DRS not activated for the time being, and that's not helping Crispal, as ESW seems to be having a stronger second and first sector than Crispal. However, Crispal does manage to pull back the time in the third sector, and Romantic managing to keep with him very nicely, as the gap is now a tenth between them two, and Romantic looking to make a move very soon as into this section of corners. Look how close Romantic is, and then Leighton, Embrick and Isan all very close to each other. The front pack, Optic retiring from the session in the Red Bull. He's done that off the track. That could be a possible safety car scenario in lap 3 of the race. Will we see a safety car? We still have yellow flags in the second sector. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a safety car, as Crispal having a look around the outside of ESW, but he thinks better of it, and then now he has Ramonicic to think about. However, he has pulled a bigger gap to Ramonicic through there, and now Crispal is going to have the help of DRS to help him pass ESW. Down the inside he goes as they're battling into turn 1. No DRS for them now, as we still have yellow flags. It's going to be 3 wide into the first corner. ESW on the outside and Crispal sandwiched on the inside. Who's going to get better of it? It's going to be a double move for Ramonicic, and everyone managing to exit that cleanly. As now it's going to be 2 wide, the Alpine and the Williams are going side by side into the sweeping left-hander, and Leighton backs out of it as ESW now down into P3, a double overtake on him, and that's not what he wants to see, as he's now from P1 straight down to P3 at the race, and Leighton keeping up still. Poof 2003 getting the first penalty of the race, and Embrick Boss still managing to stay within the DRS of these medium runners. As we can see now, the gap between Vipers and Isan is closing, as Vipers on the hard compound tire managed to close it down. He's going to be very fast at the end of the race, as we can see the top 5, 6, 7 all within the DRS, and Poof is pushing very hard, and if he can manages to get within the DRS of Vipers, it's going to be 10, it's going to be 11, it's going to be a DRS range of 11 drivers, and everyone's still managing to stay very close to each other, as Ramonicic now seems to be pulling away from Crispal. Will Crispal have the DRS? It doesn't seem like it, as is that ESW? Yes, ESW DRS is activated. Crispal is not going to have the benefit of the DRS, so he is going to be hunted now by ESW and Leighton. Further back, Marco is boxing from the mediums. I think he might have had from the hards, or I think he had wing damage on the mediums, so he's now onto the hards, and that he's going to hope that they can last him until the end of the race. And Ramontic is now just pulling away from Crispal. The gap is 1.4 seconds, and ESW is trying to stay with Crispal here, as Ramontic, it seems to be very fast for now. However, the 2-stop strategy means that Embrick Boss is the first medium runner here in the pack, with Isan following him very closely in the Haas, and then Vipers the Black also very close with them. And now Romantic just making the gap bigger and bigger to Crispal, and yeah, it is now 2 seconds, so in his dreams is Crispal going to have the DRS on Romantic, and that is not what he wants to see there. As into lap 6 of the race, it's going to be Romantic with the lead of 2 seconds, and then further back everyone in a DRS train. ESW looks to make a move, but he thinks better of it, and further back Embrick Boss is actually getting extremely close to the Williams of Leighton, as they are battling it out here. And Leighton and ESW having a right old scrap through there, but now look how close Embrick is, as he is right with them in to the next left-hander. The Aston Martin has made his way up there, and Isan still following closely, and also Vipers. And then we have Poof with a bigger gap, but further back he's got Robin West to deal with, who does not have a helmet. That's not very safe from the ERT driver, who is lacking the resources of a helmet, didn't want to spend too much on his budget this race. And Crispal is pulling back some time, however it's not going to be enough to put him back into the DRS. ESW and Leighton very close to each other. Leighton looks to make a move, but he thinks better of it in the Williams, and he is still in P4 of the race. The Safina sponsored Williams cannot seem to get past the Alpine, as Vipers is getting extremely close to Isan, who seems to have lost the rear through there, and now he has Vipers on his inside into the final corner, and that is Vipers and Isan battling it out. That is Vipers up into P6 of the race, and he has successfully made the move, and he's on the hard compound tyre, on the slowest compound but on the longest during compound, so he needs to, Ramonitic needs to keep an eye out for him. Robin, West and Poof also having a right old battle here, as Robin managing to make a move on Poof 2003, and up ahead Leighton and ESW still very close together, and Embrick also, as we can see the front pack are running away. Look at how many are there. And then we have, of course, ERT Robin West speeding away, and he could manage to get back into the DRS of Mazda _ Isan 05. And so far, the closest gap here is Vipers from Embrick, and it seems that them Vipers is one of the fastest on the track and on the hard compound tyre. It seems that he's going to be one for everyone to watch out for, as he look at the pace, look at how much later he's braking in comparison to Embrick Boss, and very soon he could be looking to make a move on the Aston Martin. Will he make it at the same place as he did for Mazda Isan? It doesn't look like it. Further up, Leighton and ESW still very close. Leighton pulls out and he is going to box. It's going to be a two-stopper for the Williams as he boxes, and he enters safely, and that is the first man to box without damage, so that is a legitimate box there. Embrick Boss makes the move, but he gets spun around the Aston Martin, or he just lost the rear. I'm not sure what happened there, but ESW is back up into P4, and he's got Vipers just in front. I think he may have lost his wing, or Mazda-Isan is just incredibly rapid, but it does seem, from what we're seeing here, we can have a little check. And ESW is all good. He's got a good front wing. He has good sturdy Alpine front wing, and he is fine. So he's got Isan right behind him, pushing him through the sequence of corners, and XD Pack, you can see just there, appearing right behind Poof. And the top 9 very close to each other. ESW going very wide through that corner, as Vipers is now up into P3. Ramonic is pulling the gap, however he is on the softs, so everything could change here, and we can see XD Pack and Poof both abusing the track limits. That could be looked at by the FIA later in the night tonight. We've also got qualifying of Miami, so that's going to be one for everyone's going to look forward to, as look how close Vipers is getting to Chris Bull on the inside. He makes the move in the same place as he did on Isan, and that is Vipers D Black up into P2, and now this is going to be a serious worry for Ramonic, because he's just gotten past Vipers, past Chris Bull, and Chris Bull is on the softs. Even though the softs are wearing away, it seems the hards now are the optimal tyre along with the mediums, and there Isan also makes the move on Chris Bull, and now it's the two Alfa Romeos who are very close beside each other, and Vipers is closing. We're going to have to keep an eye on the gap between Vipers and Ramonic. As we can see further back, someone's had a spin. That's Poof having a spin there, and Chris Bull is not Chris Bull may have damage or something, because I'm not sure what's going on there, as Robin West makes the move without the helmet. Very, very cool look from the ERT driver, as Isan in P3, Vipers P2, and Ramonic in P1. We can see the gap between them two is slowly reducing, and Ramonic going to box very shortly will mean that Vipers will be in P1 of the race. Not net P1, but he will be P1 on the track. As Chris Bull now, his tyres seem to be completely and utterly gone. They are ready to get replaced by the fresh new, I think he's going to box onto the mediums, and then he's going to box back onto the softs later on in the race, because it is a mediums to hard strategy here. What is he going to be for him? No, he's going to try go until the end of the race with the hards. Leighton sets the fastest lap of the race though in P7, as he set a 1:18.1, and the gap between Ramonic and Vipers, as I said, it is closing. and Robin West, and the gap between him and Isan now is bigger, and we can see no more trains as such. Further back though, there is a sort of train here which is led by Marco, involving Scotty and Crispel further back. And Romantic is really extending the soft as long as possible here in Hungary, as he's looking very strong out here, and he is the last one left on the soft. Everyone else is boxed from the soft runners, at least. A few medium runs I think have boxed, but that's not on purpose, I would assume, because maybe because of some sort of wing damage, or yeah, damage to the car. Romantic finally up decides to box, and the gap between him and Vipers was 2 or 1.5 seconds, something like that, and now it's the two Spaniards leading the race. It is absolute Spaniard domination here. However, Romantic of course could change that, and he's boxing to the mediums, so he could be trying to take those to the end, or he'll box back onto the soft. If not, beware, we could have a safety car situation here. However, the drivers have been managing to keep their cars on the road very nicely, as Leighton and Moore having a little scrap here. The ERA racing duo, as I'm going to call them now. Leighton, will he go for a move on more games? It doesn't seem like it. Vipers, however, gets 3 seconds of warnings, and that means Isan now into P1 in the race. The Haas is now trailing Vipers on track. However, with the final results of thing, it's going to be Isan into P1. We need to keep an eye out for him on this. He's coming out 1.4 seconds behind Leighton. However, he does have the fresher tyres, so it's going to be crucial to see how much ground he can make up on Leighton, but Leighton needs to get past Moore, who's on the very old mediums here, because he's going to be holding him up, and that's exactly what he does not want. Further back, I think that is a crash from Zaninho, yeah, and a poof with another set of penalties here, as XD Paco and no, that's more. No, this is XB Paco. Wait, what? This is Leighton and this is Paco. They're both in the Williams, so it's very confusing for me. As Paco is now just behind Robin West, and Isan also trailing his fellow McLaren teammate by basically nothing here, as Leighton and Moore having a little scrap. Moore and Romantic also, as Romantic makes the move on Moore, and he's up into P6 of the race, as he's now trailing Leighton. And look, the gap is now 8 tenths, and Moore, Romantic is clearly the faster driver of the two as of right now, as we can see the Williams trying to run, but Romantic has the pace advantage. The gap is 7 tenths, so he'll be looking to get past very shortly. Vipers, when will he box? He's on the hard, so he'll be looking to stay out another couple of laps or more, and we still have 4 medium runners yet to box. That includes Moore, Paco, Robin and Isan. So this is going to be a very interesting race, especially in terms of the strategy, as Leighton actually managing to pull a gap from Romantic, and that's very impressive from the SBS driver. However, Romantic is speeding ahead, and I think that's yellow flags for Mercedes. That's DRA Marco ghosting, and that's him crashing out, it seems, as Leighton still leading Romantic around, but Romantic will be getting the advantage with the DRS, which Leighton will be lacking here, as Paco is making up ground on Robin West. Now Romantic is the fastest man on track, and that's not what Leighton wants to hear. That's not what he wants to see in his visors in the back of his car. A speeding Belgian, ESW, making the move on his teammate Moore, as Moore lets him go, and we can see Moore's tyres are more than done here, as the medium runners, when are they going to box? Who's going to be the first to box from them? Isan is is playing this strategically. He had the DRS from Vipers, so he is managing to keep those mediums lasting and managing to keep his pace up, but the DRS distance is very close, and if he just gets another 100th or so lacking to Vipers, then he will be out of the DRS, as Paco and Robin having a little scramble of their own, and Romantic still not being able to get past Leighton, although the gap is smaller, as that is the Aston Martin of Zanino retiring, and that is a safety car here at Hungary. And now Robin West, Paco are both going to pit. Isan, that's so unfortunate for him. The safety car comes out right as he passes the the pit box, and that's not what he wants to see in the Haas. And now Vipers and Isan, I think, are both going to be boxing. More Crispal and Scotty all boxing. I'm not sure what ties they're going to be going on. Vipers and Isan leading. However, Isan and Vipers both going to be boxing, and this is exactly what Leighton wants to see. And on Montage also, Robin West on the fresh hards, and Paco on the fresh softs. So that's a different strategy to the Alfa Romeo. Can he make it work? We're going to have to wait and see. As Paco boxes, so does it, of course, as predicted, Isan and Vipers. And Leighton now leading the safety car restart. He will be right behind is Ramonitic. As Leighton in the Williams, this is going to be his first experience of what it feels like to be in P1 in the side-by-side racing league. In season 2, of course, the season 1 champion has some experience, but not in the second season. And what scenes it would be if Leighton came home to win here in the Hungaro ring. Just made that rhyme. Shout out to my English teacher. And yeah, we're just going to have to wait for the safety car to come in and see how this plays out. So far, it seems to be a very clean race. Hopefully, no reports. That would be absolutely perfect for the FIA. As, yeah, we just have to wait and wait. And the safety car is in this lap, and it's going to be go, go, go any second now. And now we can see DRA Marco is back in this. A few spins from him. How will Leighton play out this safety car restart? The head of the FIA, he's going to go mid-corner. And I think Ramonitic has predicted that, as the gap, however, is 7/10, and it seems to be a clever decision by the Williams, and he's managing to pull away quite nicely into turn 1. Are we going to see any moves? Embrick Boss on ERT, Robin West thinks better of it. Further back, is anything going to happen? No, not much happening there, and it seems to be a clean restart for the time being. As ESW up into P3, then we have Ramonitic trailing Leighton. Will he be able to get past, or will it be a Leighton P1 finish tonight at the Hungaro ring? Wow, this is going to be exciting. We've had a lack of attendance today, but we have not had a lack of action, as we can see the drivers really enjoying themselves out on the track. Well, at least that's what I hope. It seems to be an exhilarating race so far, as Marco is now on the back of Poof 2003 here at the Hungaro ring. XD Paco in P10, Isan P9, and Vipers in P8. We've got yellow flags in the second sector. I think that is Poof having a little spin, and Leighton actually maintaining the gap between him and Ramonitic, and it's quite a big gap, if I say so myself. Oh, I need to plug in my controller. Oh, give me a second, guys. I need to plug in my controller. And there we go. Yoink. Sorry for that, guys. There we go. We're back. Sorry for the little delay. Anyways, ESW on the back of Ramonicic. However, the gap is 7/10, and the gap between Leighton and Ramonicic is 6. And further back, Vipers makes the move on Crispal, and I think it seems to be more in the wall at the second corner. And that's unfortunate for the Alpine. That's wing damage, and that's his race over as he retires on the track. That could be a possible penalty for the Alpine. And Marco, wing damage from him, and I'm not sure what's going on there, as Poof and Marco seems to be having a go at each other. As ESW further up, a cleaner race. Embrick Boss and Embrick Boss and Vipers having a little battle there, as I'm not sure what's going on here. Embrick and Vipers very close to each other. It seems Vipers does have the pace advantage on Embrick, as he's looking to make a move but he can't make one. Embrick with the way older tyres, and it seems Viper's going to make a move down the inside of Embrick Boss, and Embrick has to live with it. Oh, he gets very close. However, Viper starts to manage to scrape P5, and Leighton pulling the gap to Ramonitis. We do have the DRS enabled from now on. Further back, is that Embrick Boss spinning around? Yes, it is. That is the Aston Martin of Embrick Boss spun around, and that's not what he wants to see at all from today. Marco into the boxes with wing damage, and Isan in P7. He's just behind Crispal, and then we have Paco, Poof, Embrick, Scotty and Marco, who is boxing onto new mediums, and that is a lot of boxes he's had to make today, a lot of pit stops from him, as Leighton still in P1 and Ramonitic is right behind in P2, as we can see some porpoising from Leighton, and that is definitely going to be something which is going to happen in the next game. Robin West and Vipers having a go at each other, as Robin West has to concede to Vipers D Black. We've got yellow flags in sector 2. That is Embrick Boss, yet another spin from him, and that's not what he wants to see. Leighton and Ramonitic, the gap between Leighton and Ramonitic is still quite a hefty one, so Leighton is doing very well to cope with it, and ESW managing to catch up. We can see Ramonitic has a lot of pace in the clean air, so Leighton just needs to hold him back and he'll be fine. Embrick Boss retiring from the session. Will that be yet another safety car here in Hungary? We're going to have to wait and see. Doesn't seem like it. It does not seem like it. It's not going to be a safety car here at the Hungaro Ring, as Ramonitic just behind Leighton, and then we have ESW Junior, Vipers, ERT, Robin West, Crispal and Isan. Marco retires also, and I think that was on the track, so I'm not sure what's happening there. Is it going to be a safety car? Doesn't look like it, and I think we're going to keep going racing here at Hungary, as Leighton still leading Ramonitic, and then ESW, Vipers, Robin, Crispal, Isan, Paco, Poof and Scotty, as Leighton is doing very well to hold back Ramonitic, and the front three are just pulling away at this point in the race, with Vipers going purple in that sector, so he does have pace, as he's going to try get back within the DRS of ESW Junior into the next corner, and he takes it pretty nicely. That is him back into the DRS. I think he's managed to do it just in time. The Husk Chocolate sponsored at his front wing, and that has disappeared as he activates the DRS. That is the fastest lap for him in this race. Robin West spinning around though, as he's lost control of the car, and that's not what he wants to see, as Leighton still in P1 of the race with Ramonitic right behind him, and 15 laps still to go, and it's going to be a long 15 laps for Leighton, with Ramonitic hunting him down very closely. Isan in P6, he's very close to Crispal. Will he be able to make the move? Not yet, as we can see on board with his front wing. A nice little pov from Cody's. And yeah, not much going on other than this battle with Leighton, Ramonitic, ESW and Vipers now, who's involved himself, and he's going to be looking to make a move on ESW as soon as possible, as He's getting quite close, but he can't seem to make any move for now. As the McLaren has to settle for P4. You can see the penalties there. However, he is looking to make a move on the SW. And he does not manage to make it there. Will Monitic managed to make the move on Leighton. The gap is 3 tenths, 2 tenths. Leighton, however, manages to cope with it. ESW and Vipers going very close together there, as Vipers on the outside now with ESW on the inside. Will he manage to make a move side by side, wheel to wheel through that corner? Vipers on the inside, ESW still on the outside, as forced off track there. And now ESW gets the move done on Vipers, but Vipers is not going to settle for that one, as he still looks to make a move. D Black is looking for to make a move on the Alpine. Further back though, we've got a spinning Poof 2003 and then Robin West in P10. Romanotic still right behind Leighton, and then follows ESW and Vipers, who has a 3-second time penalty, and then we have Isan on the hards right behind those two. When will Leighton box? He's on 12-lap-old mediums. It's going to be very hard to keep these until the end of the race. He needs to extend that stint as long as possible, does the Williams driver, and I think he's going to manage to do so quite nicely. Will Romanotic manage to make a move? No, he won't on this scenario. Vipers, however, makes the move on ESW into the first corner, and that was predictable, as ESW is now down into P4 with Vipers in P3, and San in P5 of the race with Crispell in P6. And then we have Paco, Scotty, Poof, Robin West, who's into the boxes. Oh, he loses control through there. He retires, Poof retires, sorry. Will Robin West retire? I think he will. Oh, ESW's left the session. That's a shock. Yeah, I think ESW has just disconnected from the session, and he's joined back, and he's losing time to Vipers. And he needs to recontrol, to gain recontrol of his car. But I have no clue what happened there. But the Alpine is going to be overtaken by San very shortly. He is back racing though, and he manages to keep the position on Isan, 80% AI, and Isan did not manage to get past his AI. Romanotic, however, is very close to Leighton. Will he manage to make a move? Vipers is also equally as close to Romanotic, but Romanotic still settling for P2. Isan makes the move on ESW, and ESW is down in P5 of the race now. And then we have Crispell in P6 and Paco in P7 right behind. Then we have Scotty, who disconnected, and Robin West on the mediums in P9 of the race. And then here Romanotic, will he manage to make a move on Leighton? It seems like Leighton is going to manage to stay out in front. Leighton back to his glory days of season 1. Just look at that for a sight. However, Romanotic is still hunting him down. We still have more than 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and that is going to be a lot more action happening here at the Hungary Ring. And stay tuned to see who will win this absolutely entertaining battle. We see absolutely nearly every driver in a battle except for Robin West and the disconnected LFR Scotty. Into the first corner once again. Romanotic pulls out to the side. He's going to go for a lunge on Leighton. Leighton's not having none of it, but Leighton's pulled over, And now, side by side into the second corner. Vipers the Black also on the outside. Will he manage to make a move on Leighton? Leighton manages to hold his ground to the Black. However, he's let Romantic slip past. And Romantic is up into P1. Vipers, however, looking to make a move on the outside, but he thinks better of it. And then just Vipers into P3 of the race. And Leighton P2. And Romantic managing to stay in now in P1. And now it's Leighton hunting. And Romantic being hunted. As we're now into lap 24 of the race, and now is when the action starts to accumulate here at the Hungaro ring. ESW Junior staying, looking to stay within the DRS of Isan. Will he manage to do so? I think he may well do, as Leighton and Romantic now very close to each other. Leighton, will he be able to stay within the DRS of Romantic? And now Romantic seems to be pulling away as Vipers is getting very close to Leighton this time round. And will Vipers be able to make a move? He does have 3 seconds, however, so that will hurt him, as now Leighton will have the DRS on Romantic. He wants to make this not the last time. Vipers down the inside of Leighton though, as they go side by side. Leighton pushed wide through there, and that is Vipers past. Leighton round the outside. Well, can he make it move? Can he make it work? No, he can't. And that is Leighton down into P3 of the race. And Isan P4, ESW P5, and then we have Crispal in P6 and Paco down in P7. We have yellow flags in sector 2. That is Robin West spinning around in the second sector. And that's not what he wants to see. Close the door. And Robin West retiring from the session. And Romantic leading Vipers. Then we have Leighton, Isan, ESW, Crispal, Paco, and Scotty. Marco leaves the session. And now, will Vipers be able to stay within the DRS of Romantic? Robin West leaves the session, and Leighton out of the DRS of Vipers, and Vipers still closing in on Romantic here, with the Sun in P4 on the 11 uphold hards. can't make a move there. Isan is on the back of Leighton now, as Leighton's tyres are going, and this is not a great strategy call from Leighton, or at least he cannot extend the tyres like Ramonitic could, as Isan is closing in on him. Viper's also closing in on Ramonitic with the fresher tyres, and now it's when the tyres are going to start playing a crucial role in this race, as Viper's trying to get past Ramonitic. He can't do on this occasion. Whoa, and he gets all out of shape through there. That's the McLaren driver. However, still managing to stay within DRS distance of Ramonitic. And then we have Isan, going very wide through there. I would not be surprised if that was a warning for him. And he's just about managing to stay with Leighton. ESW is in no man's land along with Crispell. However, Crispell and Paco still having a battle of their own down in P6 and P7. And not a great attendance this race. Of course, we will try and improve it. Though as Vipers goes very wide, and that is the second penalty for him. And now it's Leighton, who could still manage to keep within podium position. Isan from left to right, and that is Isan down the inside of Leighton. And I think that is Isan into P3. Leighton, however, still trying to resist, but he can't do so for much longer, as Isan is up into the final podium position. However, Vipers does have 6-second penalties, so that's not going to help him, as he's now closing on Ramonitic in the Mercedes. And ESW down in P5, maybe he can also manage to get up a position above Vipers with 5 laps to go very shortly. We will be into the closing stages of this 50% race here in Hungary, as XD Paco following Crispell around, and Leighton still managing to stay within DRS percent, and Vipers also fresher tyres than Ramonitic, so he will be fast, as I said, at the end of the race. Into lap 30 we go, and Vipers, will he go for a move? I think he will, down the inside of Ramonitic. That is Vipers into P1 on track, and Ramonitic down into second position here. Is he going to try fight Vipers, or does he know that he's got 6 seconds, so there's nothing to worry about if he can stay within the DRS and within 6 seconds, of course. Leighton, and still managing to keep with the Haas driver. The closing 5 laps here at Hungary, he is flashing, so he's low on the ERS. Isan not flashing with the lights, so he may have higher DRS than Leighton with the Williams branding, hashtag We Are Williams on the Leighton's car. And ESW in P5 in the Alpine, Crispell P6, Paco P7, still managing to stay within the DRS of Crispell. Then we have Scotty down in P8. Vipers is in P1, and he's managing to keep the gap between him and Ramonitic fairly high. However, Ramonitic is still within the DRS and within 6 seconds, most importantly, as the tyres now are starting to go from Ramonitic. This could mean Isan is going to close in on the final few laps. Ramonitic looking to make a move with 1/10 of a gap between them two, but he can't make one yet as he looks to go around the outside. Vipers, however, sticks it on the inside and does not let Ramonitic even have a little peek to make the move there on himself, as Ramonitic still managing to stay within the DRS of Vipers there. Isan in P3 of the race in the Haas. We can see him there with the white helmet, and then we have Leighton further back with the Williams helmets, and then ESW with another white helmet there from him. Crispell in the Alfa Romeo, another white helmet, and XD Paco, what helmet colour does he have? I think it's blue. Yeah, it's blue coloured helmet from him. Just looking at the helmet textures, look at that, look at Isan's helmet. Very cool from the Spaniard. As we're now going into the 32nd lap of the race, and D Black is increasing the gap between him and Ramonitic. Ramonitic, however, gaining back, of course, on this long straight. And Vipers managing to hold back Ramonitic very nicely, as the gap is now 6/10 between them two. And lap 33 now, with Vipers still extending the gap. However, Ramonitic is closer than last lap. He won't be looking to make a move though just yet. Isan is closing in on Ramonitic, but not enough. As we can see here, if we're going to make the gap to the leader, Leighton is now 4.7 seconds behind Vipers, and he needs to keep that gap within 6 seconds, otherwise he won't be in a podium here at Hungary. ESW won't be in P4 of the race unless he manages to get within 6 seconds, but that looks very unlikely with only 2 laps left of the race for now. However, Vipers is starting to pull a very big gap on Leighton. The gap is 5.039. 1 more second and Leighton is out of contention for the podium. He needs to fight with all his might here at the Hungary Ring in Hungary, of course, as you can tell by the track name. Vipers going very wide there. He can't risk another penalty, otherwise that'll be him out. However, he is gaining a lot on Leighton. This is not what Leighton wants to see. Leighton's flashing the lights. Could we see a repeat of Austria? This is going to be very, very close between them two. As it stands right now, it's going to be only, it seems like Leighton won't be able to scrap that podium from Vipers. Oh, the gap is 5.7. Oh, he needs to keep it like this. This is going to go down to the wire between them two. Vipers needs to make a mistake for Leighton to manage to get within P3. However, once that timer hits 6, it is game over for SBS and UFC Leighton with the older tyres. Vipers with the way fresher tyres, and look at that, the gap 6 seconds, and you can see there. It seems like Leighton won't be having his podium here at Hungary. Paco with another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and Isan in no man's land as well as ESW Junior. There we go, lap 35 of 35. The gap is 6.4 seconds. And it seems like Vipers pulling away from the field, especially from Leighton, and that's going to be a P4 for Leighton. It's not what he wants to see here at Hungary, as Vipers now into the DRS detection. However, of course, leading, he will not be having the benefit of the DRS, as he will be looking at a P3 finish, will Vipers. Not too bad, not too shabby from him. From Ramonitic in P1, his son will be in P2. Then we'll have Vipers, Leighton, ESW, Crispal, Paco and Scotty. As Vipers now approaching the final sector, his teammate there is going to be It's going to be final car to cross the line as Leighton. It's going to be 8 tenths between him and that podium he seeks so dearly here at SBS. However, our race winner is Vipers D Black. The Spaniard crosses the line. It's Oh no, it's Ramonitic, sorry. The Ramonitic crosses the line. Isan is in P2, Vipers at P3, Leighton P4, and it's going to be P5 for ESW. Crystal's going to come home in P6, respectful performance by him. Then it's Paco, and then we are just waiting on Mr. Scotty. And there you go, that is your grid, that is your order for tonight, as Scotty retiring from the session on the final lap. And there is your podium, ladies and gentlemen. Ramonitic finishes P1 as he lifts the golden trophy. That is signification. That's a signification. How do I say that? Basically signaling that he has dominated this race. That is P1, and he'll be celebrating tonight. Here are your results then. Ramonitic, Isan, Vipers, Leighton, Crispal, Paco, SW, Scotty, Robin, West, Poof, Marco, Embrick, Moore, Zenhino, then Optic. Here's your list of incidents. And there are your pit stops. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully next round we'll have a better attendance and